Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to answer one of the most requested questions which I get in the comment section. That is, what is the total cost of the USMLE journey for IMGs? Now, even before I start this video, I would like to urge a lot of you who are new to my channel and who don't have that much of an idea of how the USMLE journey progresses to go to my other YouTube video where I discuss in detail the timeline of the USMLE journey. So when you're supposed to take your steps, when you're supposed to do your electives, observerships, interviews, residency application, that whole thing. So that being said, let's start this video. So first, let me go over the contents of this video. First, I will discuss the total money needed for you to register for the USMLE exams or the STEP exams. And the second thing is the study materials. Here I'm going to go over the absolutely basic study materials which you will need. The third thing is electives and observerships. It's extremely important that you get some United States clinical experience before you apply. So I have a separate video on that, how to get electives, and I will make future videos on this topic as well. Be sure to mention in the comment section in case you want to see something. The fourth thing is a highly requested topic, like how much it costs to do a research here. Right now I am a research fellow at the Mayo Clinic here in Rochester, United States. So how much does it cost me on a yearly basis? And the fifth and most important thing is the ERAS application. So even before I go into details, I want to say two things. Number one, I am not going to give you a total. So I'm going to give you the exact prices, but I'm not going to do a total for you. You are supposed to do that. Get your calculator out, get a piece of paper, write down what I say and calculate it for yourself. And number two, in this video or in future videos, I will not discuss the money which is gained throughout this process. I will not talk about salaries. I will not talk about future gains. So let's start the video. USMLE steps cost. So as of September 2020, and the cost posted here are from like January 2020 of this year. The step 1 cost around $1,000. The step 2 CS used to cost around 1,600, and the step 2 CK was again $1,000. So the step 2 CS, as you all know, has been discontinued due to the COVID situation, but then again, like, I expect it to come back next year, maybe around July or something. So this is the total amount of money which you need to pay for each STEP exam. So when you submit your application for a USMLE STEP exam, they usually provide you a 3-month window to choose a date from. So choose your examination date. In case if you are unable to take the test in the 3-month window, then you can extend for that eligibility period once, and this costs $90. In case if you're unable to take the exam within that eligibility period, then you will have to pay the whole exam fees. So $965 for the initial registration for step 1, that gives you 3 months, and if you pay another $90, that extends it like for another 3 months. So study materials. So study materials, in this slide I have listed the absolute basic study materials which are needed for like step 1, CK and CS. So for step 1, you can go and read my experience, what I have used, and like get an idea like of what you should use. And so the materials which I have used and which is like heavily recommended, I have listed it down here, but this doesn't reflect the total number of materials I use. So for step 1, I have used maybe 3 question banks. I have listed one, that is UWorld for step 1. So these are like the absolute basic necessity for you to go through your USMLE journey, and I want to get that through very clearly. So UWorld is becoming really costly. When I bought it, it was around $250 for like 3 months or something. But right now, as you can see, it's $369 for 3 months and $419 for 6 months. I will suggest get the 6 months because it lets you reset it once. So once you're done solving the question bank in a tutor mode or something, I will make a separate video on how you should do UWorld. So for step 1 and step 2 CK, that's $369 for 3 months, $419 for 6 months. First aid for like step 1, step 2 CK, step 2 CS, it costs around $50 here in the United States. But if you live elsewhere and can find a cheaper copy, go grab it. Pathoma is one of the best resources for step 1. I will recommend everyone to study from Pathoma. It costs about $85. Support Dr. Hussain Satta and definitely pay that $85. It's worth it. So I used the Kaplan Notes for step 1 during my prep. It cost around $200, not much, and I think it's a very good resource. Right now I'm quite sure there are other resources available, so see what suits you. Master the Boats for step 2 CK and Master the Boats for step 3 are very good resources, but then again I didn't use it. Most of the people are going to use it, so this gives you a total idea how much the materials will cost. So most of you will end up buying 1, 2 and 3 and maybe also 4, but the rest are kind of okay, you might need it, might not need it. So all the prices are current as of today, September 2020. So cost of electives. Now this is something which can be a little bit dicey, so I will suggest like go and watch my elective video. I will make a future video and go into more details about how I went through my electives, but the basic fee structure of the elective is as follows. So the application fee, which is usually non-refundable for a month, is around $300 to $500 for a month. It's non-refundable, you are not going to get that back. Once you're accepted, then you are supposed to pay the elective fee immediately, preferably within like 2 weeks or maybe on the date of joining. So it can vary around $1,000 to and can go up to $6,000. Yeah, $6,000. Stanford, I guess, does for like 6,000 and University of Alabama does for like 5,000. These prices which are listed here are for every month. Accommodation will cost you around $500 to $1,000 for maybe a single room or sharing. So if you are staying in the New York City, even if you share a place, then you will have to spend around like $2,500 for a month, like if you are sharing an apartment with someone else. But if you're doing your elective in Cleveland Clinic and if you want to stay somewhere near the hospital, then you can easily get a place all for yourself for $500 easy. So traveling is kind of like, it varies. If you are using flights to travel from one city to another, and it's like from one part of the United States to maybe the opposite side of the United States, it might cost you around $500, but usually it's cheaper, maybe around $300, $350 for a round trip flight. And if you can do Greyhound or bus services, usually that's far cheaper. And then come the miscellaneous fees. This can be from anything from like food, lodging, like your mobile phones, or like you go out, you hang out stuff. So all of this is excluding the travel to the United States. So if you're traveling from India to the US, then it might cost you around $800 to $1,200 for a round trip, depending on the time of the year. Again, cost of observerships, it's similar to electives, but here the elective fee, or I should have said like the observership fee, is less. Like it doesn't go up to $6,000 for a month. It might go up to maybe $2,000, $2,500. But then again, observerships are not that highly regarded. I would ask you to watch my USMLE timeline video as well as my elective videos. I go over the details and explain the differences between observerships and electives. So research year, yeah, some of you will end up doing a research year from the time you graduate to the time you apply. So the accommodation and rent is, again, it depends on where you live in the United States. New York City is really costly, California is costly, Florida is costly. But if you are staying in Alabama, Louisiana, Minnesota like I am, or relatively cheaper places, you can get a good accommodation all for yourself for maybe $500 to $1,000. If you are doing sharing, it's $500. If you want the place for yourself, it's maybe $1,000. Food and groceries usually vary around $150 to $200 per month, depending if you want to eat outside or if you want to cook. Miscellaneous costs can be around like $200 to $400. So I would say like per month $1,200 is my net spend. So per year costing maybe somewhere around like $10,000 to $15,000. Yeah, and this all obviously excludes the travel to the United States, which will again cost you around $800 to $1,200, depending on which part of the world you live in. So the most important part of the application is the ERAS, or the ERAS application. So the token costs around $150. Then you will have to pay the ECFMG to release your transcript, which is around $85. The ECFMG certification is also important before you apply. That's around $75. Now comes the ERAS program application, and this depends on the number of programs you apply to. So for the first 10 programs, you will have to pay $99. So if you apply to 7 programs only, then you pay $99 or like whatever. So most of us will apply to $150. So here's the breakdown. For the first 10 programs, you will have to pay $99. For 11 to 20, you will have to pay $16. So that's 10 into 16, $160. For 21 to 30, you will have to pay 20 each. So that's like another $200. So 99 plus 160 plus 200 for 31 and more. Let's say you are applying to 150. So that like 120 programs remain. So for each program, you will have to pay $26. So that comes around like 3,100 or something, and calculated the total price comes around to 3,500 or like $3,600. So this is quite a lot when it comes to application. And let's go to the next slide. So NRMP registration is also $150, and during this COVID situation, the traveling during the interviews is not happening, I suppose, but from next year it's going to be quite normal. So each round trip flight is going to cost you around, once again, 350 to 500 depending on your luck and the time you book your flight. The rental car, if you get a rental car from the airport, per day basis it will cost you around 30 to 50 bucks. You will obviously need your driver's license from your home country, if not the international driver's license. Hotel stay per day is around 60 to 100 bucks. 60 bucks get you a good motel or inn depending on like where you live. I hope this video gives you a good idea of the total cost of the USMLE journey. Like I said before, I did not do a Excel sheet kind of a like total cost, so get your pens and papers out, write down what I said and calculate it for yourself. In this video I went over the basic skeletal structure of the total cost. So if your total cost comes around to be, let's say, $15,000, try to think of it as like maybe spending $20,000 to $22,000, because like there are several things which I didn't count for. Like you might be wanting to do maybe 3 electives or 3 electives, 1 observership, or maybe 6 months of research. So there are multiple variables when it comes to the USMLE journey, and which I cannot account for. So I just wanted to give you an overall idea of how much it costs, and I hope this video helps you. Thank you. In case if you have any questions, please comment down below. I try to read every single comment and respond to as many as possible. And also, in case you want me to make any other videos, please say in the comment section. Thank you.